well, we're going to open it up, I think, to questions that people may have about this year's team, but I'm just going to start with you. Tomorrow's opening day, like you said, in Detroit and West Michigan. By the way, Max Clark and Kevin McGonigal, both starting the season in West Michigan, so that's exciting, the future of the Tigers. But favorite opening day memory for you?
Well, let's check it out. There's a lot of them. Probably one I pitched. I didn't win one.
No?
I lost 2 of them. But it was you know, when you're out there in the bullpen and they're announcing the team on the third baseline and there's 52,000 at Tiger Stadium and it's just getting roaring, the wave. Well, they didn't really start the wave when I started, but the wave was 84, but you're just feeling it and you get out there. So I started against Texas and I started against Kansas City. And I went 5 innings in Kansas City, and I went 5 innings with Texas. So, and I lost them both. Damn it! I actually pitched good though. It was my fielders that couldn't field the ball quickly. You know what I mean? Ground ball, try and drive. He didn't dive. God, another base hit. So anyway, I got a lot of ground balls, but they were base hits.
5 innings.
But it was very exciting because you know everybody's expecting you. You know, it's a big day.
Right. 5 innings would get you about $20 million a year.
Oh, I got that. I got paid more than that.
Yeah. We'll open it up for anybody with questions, but what do you see from this year's team? They're off to a little bit of a 2-4 start, but no big deal. It's early.
I gotta answer when you were talking up there. So here's the thing about your no-hitter about Armando.
Oh,
See, people don't understand this. I was at that game, and Brandon Edge hit a ball down the left field foul line. And Jim Joyce called it, or the third base umpire called it a home run. And the manager in the opposing dugout,
Manny Actor,
and he goes, no, it was not. So they went back and looked at it on camera, and it was not a home run. He had hit again. So now, to me, it's a home run. Now you've got a perfect game, 27 in a row. You can't go back and check the play of the call at first base. Right. That, as a pitcher, I'm going to swear right now, that really pissed me off.
Yeah,
because you know what? I mean, a home run, there might be 5 home runs in a game. Oh, whatever. But a perfect game, 27 in a row, there's only about 22 in the history of baseball. You got to argue that. So
yeah, well,
I'm going to go off the field and just quit.
Yeah. Back then, you know, they didn't have the replay at first base, but they were allowed to have umpires get together,
exactly.
And they didn't do it in that situation, which I was surprised by. However, if you talk to Armando Galarraga today, he thinks that it's the best thing that ever happened for him because a lot of guys have thrown perfect games, not very many, it's still very rare, but you can't name them all. But you can remember Armando Galarraga.
Yeah,
people remember him, and he also got a Corvette.
I know he did.
He did all right.
How's that Corvette doing now?
He doesn't have it anymore. He sold it. He sold it. He did tell me he sold it a couple of years ago, but he had it for a while. So right. Because I think it was Chevy had a deal with the Tigers where if the pitcher threw a no-hitter or a perfect game, they'd give him the Corvette, and they didn't have a perfect game, but Chevy still gave him the Corvette. So he did all right. Again, people remember Armando Galarraga,
yeah, right.
And they don't remember Phil Humber, who pitched a no-hitter or a perfect game earlier that year. I mean, so.
Gotcha. All right.
Yep.
Take 2.
Questions?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Got a question for Rosie.
For me?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Rosie, you pitched under Sparky Anderson. And he was
yes, I did.
He was known as Captain Hook. Did you ever win an argument with him saying, I don't want to come out? Or did anybody in the Tigers pitching staff win that argument with Sparky?
You know what?
Jack Morris?
No.
Not even Jack?
I never won an argument. But he loved me. He told me he loved me when he was older. And because he said, you know, Rosie, you will pitch anytime I call on you. So he liked me being in there, but when he came out, when he makes that hop, and goes like this, give me the lefty, you know, you just kind of go, oh, I still got it. Yeah. You might be there tomorrow, son, but be ready. So you give him the ball, you just kind of go. No, never won an argument with Sparky.
Now, did you pitch in the '84 playoffs? Because I know in the World Series.
I did not pitch in the 80s. They didn't need me.
Yeah, I know in the '84 World Series, you're one of 3 guys that unfortunately didn't get in. But you're a big contributor to the team, but for some reason they didn't need you in the '84 World Series.
I warmed up 3 times though.
There you go. There you
That was big. I said hi to Mom on camera. That's important. You know, the camera's like, you know, you're pitching. I said, well, get out of the way. The camera's right here. So you gotta go, you know, 2 outs, the camera's right there. See the red light on? Hi, Mom! Hi, Grand Rapids! So, anyway, we got him out, and I didn't get to go in that game. We lost 5-3 though, but I warmed up 3 times, and that was enough. It's a quick series. And we had the best team, Steve. 27 Yankees, 84 Tigers. Check the stats. We might have more wins. We started off 35-5. Whoop! We did. Okay.
And maybe the 2025 Dodgers, we'll see.
Oh, they were good too.
We'll see.
I know. Oh, that's true. They are pretty good.
They are.
Next question.
Tony, what's your prediction for wins this season?
I'm going to be a downer. I had a couple issues with this year's team. I think they really needed that impact bat. I think that Alex Bregman would have been huge for this team, not just for third base, but then Matt Fairley could have been right field, and then Kerry Carpenter could have been DH full time. So I think you would have been significantly better in 3 spots in the lineup. You know, even when they were going on that run last year from mid-August on, the offense was not good. It was the pitching that carried them. And their pitching is still very good. But I told people that asked me about this year's team and last year's team, I've never seen a stretch of baseball for 45 days, like from mid-August to September, or through September, where everything that could possibly go right for that team went right. I mean, it was crazy, hitting grand slams, down 3 runs with 2 outs in the 9th inning, the catch Trey Sweeney made, Bo Brisky turning into Mariano Rivera, everything went well. So I think they need more offense. I don't think they have it, so I'm saying 82 and 80. Now, they're in a division that I think isn't quite as good as last year. None of the other teams went crazy either, so we'll see, but I think 82 and 80.
Well, I went to a game at the end, towards of July last year, and I said, you know, I lived in St. Clair Shores. I said, I never seen another game at the end, at the rest of the year. They were terrible. I said, I went to a game and they won in August. I said, I'm going to go another one because I get to go to a lot of games. They played good again. Then I went to about 10 games. They won every one of them. I went, wow, this is exciting.
It's all you.
Well, it wasn't me. It must have been a margarita from the Champions Club. No, the thing was, like you said, everything went right for them. Timely hits.
Yeah.
This year, I mean, I like our pitching staff.
Yeah, the pitching's good.
Our hitting, you know what we do that's not going to bring us anywhere towards the top this year? We strike out so much, so we'll get 2 guys out, strike three, pop up. We don't get that timely hit, and it seems like, you know what gets me too? This is Al Kaline's favorite story right here. With 2 strikes, get a line drive right to the pitcher's head. Base hit. I think all 9 of our guys think they're all home run hitters, and it's 2-0. Like, what are you swinging at? Their head's over here, and they're swinging with a slider in the outside corner. How about just a line drive in the right field gap or hit the ball hard? We strike out so many times. I watched the game the other day. Bases loaded. Strike 3. Weak ground ball. Strike 3. And you lose. You go, God, here's our chance to win the game.
Right. I will say, Al Kaline probably wondered, like Ted Williams did, like why everyone can't hit like Al Kaline.
Well, exactly.
It's not that easy.
But the theory behind it is,
yeah.
head down, hit the ball up the middle with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Don't try to take it deep.
The one thing I did have a caveat in my season prediction this year, there's 2 guys to watch that if they break through, I think the team overperforms what I have, and that's Spencer Torkelson,
Yes.
and it's Casey Mize, the 2 former #1 draft picks. I think if those 2 guys can find it, and look, they've had their tough times, but people don't realize not everyone is Mike Trout that comes to major leagues and is a superstar right away. It took JD Martinez till he was 27 years old to become a star. So I'm not giving up on Torkelson or Mize. If they overperform, I think the Tigers overperform.
I agree. Torque is the key.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This question for Dave.
For me?
Yeah, Scuba the other night lost 3-2.
Right.
You watched that. I was really frustrated. And you know, you saw that Colt Keith ground ball. I don't know if you saw it. He got it and he hesitated.
You mean the third base, the weak one?
Second base.
Second base.
Oh,
No, he took a ground ball and he hesitated to go to second, and then he went to first,
too late, so he didn't get it. That would have been a third out. Next guy hits a double, and they get a couple runs. If you're Scooble, do you, after that inning, do you go back and say it to the fielder, or you just kind of fight?
No, you know what, you kind of like keep a sleeping dog sleeping, because they're going to come up with a superstar play someday. You can't really dog one of your players. Jack Morris could, but I didn't. I mean, sometimes, they make the play, and if they don't make the play, you kind of just go, if it would have, should have, could have. But no, you kind of keep quiet, because you're the one who made them hit the ball, or you got the guys on base in the first place.
I know, next.
So you kind of like, that's my perspective. Gibby might freaking if Gibby was a pitcher, oh boy, I'd hate to see what he'd see. You stink! No. One time in New York, I was pitching against, it was kind of funny. On my birthday, I pitched against Dave Rigetti, number 19, DR. Dave Rosewood, number 19, DR. I go, boom. So he was beating me like 2-1, I had bases loaded, 2 outs. From one of rookie, all you gotta do is catch it, step on third, I'm out of there. Whoop, through the legs, 2-run score, base hit, 2 more runs score. I'm down 7-1, going, okay, gee, you hit that bag. If you caught it, I'm just down 2-1. I could have still been in the game, but you sit there, they look at you, and you look at them, and you kind of just go, all right, you didn't mean to do it. If you meant to do it, I'd get pissed, but you didn't mean to do it. So you don't challenge other teammates. I'll tell you a story about what happened one time. So we got a pitcher, Bruce Robbins. I see this ball. That's why I remember this story. We're playing Oakland. He comes in. We score like 4 runs. So we're leading like 4-2. When the biggest thing for a pitcher is like when you score runs in the bottom, like the third, the top of the fourth, you gotta shut them down. That's the most important. And don't give them any more runs, because you scored. Shut them down and hope you score some more. So now it's like 4-2. He comes in, ball 4. 4 pitches. Ball 4. Ball 4. Everybody's going, come on! They're in the dugout. So I'm up, I'm in the bullpen. Ball on Tony Armas. Tony Armas back, this had to be 80. Tony Armas he hit 40, 50 home runs. All of a sudden, ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, Sparky, son of a gun. Rosie, get in here. Like, what? Bases loaded 3-0 on the biggest home run hitter in the league. I'm going, okay, this is good. So I'm going, okay, here we go. Boom, hit, strike 1. Strike 2. Foul. Whoop. Oh, shit. Woo! Way in the upper deck, grand slam. Get the next guy out. I go to the dugout, and Bruce Robbins is in my face yelling at me. And Gibby ran in, and he threw him back on the seat. He goes, you gutless son of a If you don't want the 3 guys at 4, put 3 in no count on him. You gotta come and do your freaking job. So I goes, Bruce, get off this dugout, get me ball right now. And guess what? Bruce Robbins was gone. Because, you don't challenge me coming in and do your job, especially when you leave me, you know what I mean? You leave me in a hole, you got 5 aces, and I got a deuce. I think I'm going to win. I know you're not going to win. So I didn't mean to give him the grand slam, but I did throw him 5 strikes. He hit a long ways, too. I actually thought he was going to go over the roof, but he didn't. I'd have been in the record book, Steve. What happened?
Right here. So, you were talking about how the hitters aren't hitting. They're always going for the big hits nowadays, right?
It looks like it.
And it's not as exciting as it used to be, right? A line drive, double play, all that fun stuff. Instead, they're going for the big stuff. What do you think about the torpedo bats that are coming out?
Who set you up to that question?
No, I
Somebody set you up.
No.
Does it come out of a submarine?
Yeah, that's what it's supposed
I
to.
don't know anything about the torpedo bat.
It's
To me,
a torpedo.
So it's supposed to be harder than a.
It's a little bit, it's thicker in the sweet spot of,
Yeah,
it's
they
wider
find
in the
sweet-
sweet spot.
You still gotta hit it.
The reason it's a big deal that people are talking about it is because the Yankees went out and hit 15 home runs in the first 3 games with them. If you give the torpedo bats to the Chicago White Sox or the Tampa Bay Rays, I guarantee you we're not talking about the torpedo bats. You're giving them, the Yankees have a great lineup, And
Yeah.
I always look at this type of stuff as if it makes a big difference, I think someone smart enough would have probably come up with it before now.
Well, they say they customize it per player.
Right.
So they know, they go in and they look at where the sweet spot is
Right.
for that particular player, and then they customize it to that. I don't know, it doesn't seem traditional. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. I think the big thing we're going to watch is how many other teams go to it. And there's a few other players on other teams that are using it. And I know the Phillies, after watching the Yankees hit 15 home runs, the Phillies went out and bought some. So, I mean, people are clearly talking about it, but we'll see.
You still got to hit the ball in the sweet spot. I mean, if I'm a pitcher and if I throw 4 inches below that torpedo bat, I'm going to break it. If I hit it on the end, I'm going to break it. But if these hitters keep hitting it in the sweet spot, I don't care what bat you have, you're going to hit a home run.
Right.
And playing in a stadium that they have, you know, when you get 310 down the line and the wind blows out the right field, it's only 365 to the power alley. I mean, our stadium is huge compared to their stadium.
Right. By the way, I think they had 15 homers in the first 4 games.
Yeah.
And it tied the record, which was set by the 2006 Tigers, are one of those teams that had 15 home runs.
Yeah.
Chris Shelton, where have you gone?
Oh,
Chris,
yeah,
you saw that
Chris
Chris Shelton
Shelton.
baseball in there? No.
Chris Shelton.
Where have you gone, Chris Shelton? Big Red.
Yeah, he was good, wasn't he?
All right, we've got time for one more question back over here.
Well, I better make it a good one. So, gentlemen, if you could make 1 or 2 trades this early in the season to improve the Tigers' chances of making the playoffs, what would it be? And I want you to name names. And then 2, as a follow-up, Rosie, I want to hear what it's like to be a player in the clubhouse when these trades are going on.
What's going on?
Be a player in the clubhouse when the trades are going on, when all those rumors are circulating. What's it like? So, name names on the
Were you ever
trade.
during the season or no?
What's that?
Were you ever traded during the season?
No, he's a stud. Anyway,
Sorry, I asked.
they couldn't get rid of me. I always had a contract. No one wanted me really. Now, you know what? In the clubhouse itself, it all depends. You win, everybody's happy. You lose, a couple people just go take their showers. You sit in your seat and you answer the reporters, do your job, and you want to get out of there. Because, you know, negative vibes is not good. What we did in 83, 84, in that area, we drank that Stroh's beer. Even if we won or lost, we had a thing with Tram, Lance, Gibby, Bergie was big, Darryl, myself. We'd sit there for probably 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, drink all the beer in the clubhouse, and talk about good things and bad things, what happened in the course of the game. And sometimes I think it mellows you out a little bit, but you got to wait for the fans to leave, because we had a lot of fans in 84, and so you kind of sit there and you talk about this, that, how certain guys pitch this guy, maybe Jet threw an inside fastball and some guy hit a home run off it and go, I would not pitch that guy inside. Like you wouldn't pitch Darrell Evans inside either. He'll take it deep to right field. So, you know, there's something to do, I guess. You know, you talk a little strategy about playing the game. I mean, you know, remember, we're kids too. There's older kids getting paid a few bucks, but you still got to talk about strategy, what you would do in situations. A lot of guys want to be managers. So, I mean, Gibby was one, Lance was one, Tran was one, Darryl was a manager, and Bergie actually was a manager for the Redbirds in Grosse Pointe. So, when you talk strategy, it does help out in your life after baseball, because you have a good mindset what to do.
By the way, speaking of trades, the Bergman-Willie Hernandez trade was, I mean, just all-timer.
Crazy. Oh, we didn't know how good he was going to be.
You had no idea who Dave Bergman was.
No, we didn't know Willie either.
Right.
If you look at stats for Philadelphia and Chicago, for Willie Hernandez, it wasn't good. When he came to the American League, he's got a screwball, slider, and a good fastball. And we had Lopey from the right side, Willie from the left side. And sometimes it's just magical. Sometimes you pitch, you go, oh shit. Line drive to travel. You go, oh, there's a down. Or the check center field, you go, but if you pulled it, it's a home run. Hits in the gap, it's a double. But the guys are there. You know what I mean? If Mono got there a little bit sooner, would have been a call.
That team was so good up in
No,
there.
no.
Trammell, Whitaker, Parrish, and Lennon. I mean, that's how you build a baseball team.
That's
up
how
the
you build
middle.
a foundation.
You asked me, to trade, just off the top of my head, Alex Bregman went to Boston. I think Rafael Devers could have been a guy you go after, a guy who played third base because he kind of got forced out of his job in Boston. But they got to find some offense somewhere. And the problem is their minor league system is pretty good, but it's really, at the higher ends, it's pitching. It's the lower ends that's the hitting. So it's not coming from Toledo and Erie this year. So I don't know where they're going to find it. But again, Spencer Torkelson, to me, is the key for this season.
He is, yeah, like you said, we have a few number one picks because we're so bad. You know, 5 to 6, 4 years ago, these guys got to develop, or maybe our scouts have to take a hike.
Right. And well, the one thing people don't talk about, it sounds like making excuses, but Spencer Torkelson was drafted in 2020, which was the COVID year. There was no end of the college baseball season. There was no minor league baseball. For a whole year, he didn't play baseball. I think it's a little fair to give him a little bit more time to develop. I mean, he showed glimpses a couple years ago, looked a little lost last year, but if you watch him in the box right now, and you watch him in spring training, he just feels a little bit more free and a little bit more confident, and that's good for the Tigers because, they have to have it.
Well, they showed a thing yesterday, yeah. He's 9.6 inches, his feet are closer. I don't know about you guys out there. Maybe the younger people can understand this stats and everything they analyze. It's freaking crazy. It drives me nuts.
So you don't know how many RPMs this football is?
I just got a new battery. It just seems like everything is all calculated into fractions and this and that. Gibby told me, Kirk Gibbs is my brother-in-law, and he was telling me when he was in the booth the last couple of years, they analyze the push-off of a right-hand pitcher or left-hander, the push-off from your foot, how hard it goes to give you the leverage and the power to throw the ball. I went, are you kidding me? Who figures that out? That's to me is on different pitches. You're going to, on a fastball, and something of a changeup, you got to not push as hard, but you got to pull down on your arm a little bit, or a curveball. You can't go, because you're going to leave your curveball way out here. So I'm just going, are you kidding me? How many times people told me, Rosie, you would have made $10 million. I go, you know what? I didn't. I wasn't there.
What was the most you ever made?
It was fun.
Yeah. What was the most you ever made in a year?
$360,000.
That's not bad back then.
No, it was
That's not a lot of
good.
way.
Good. My daughter spent it all. I go to education, college. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Just kidding here. But it doesn't matter how much you make. It's still a game, and it's so analyzed now. How many times do you guys see this box now? So you see the umpire behind the box. You see the zone. All of a sudden, the ball lands outside the box. Why do you even put that out here for me to get mad because you're a horseshit umpire? Balls in the dirt over here, right here. You're going, it wasn't even in the zone. It touches the top of the zone. The ball is halfway out of it, just nicks it, strike. I'm going, wow, I'd like to get that pitch when I played. It's amazing what they do now. It's, I guess is it better?
You had a bigger strike.
Better for you?
You had a bigger strike zone
We
back
had
in the 80s.
we had no cell phones. It was perfect.
Yeah. You guys had
We didn't have computers in my day.
You were getting
It was
some of those
great.
pitches. You were getting some of those pitches in the 80s.
We had an umpire called Russ Getz. We used to call him Russ Guest. And I got him in Lendale AC, the bar in Detroit. It's a Friday night. I'm pitching Saturday. I go, I can't just go home. I live in Belleville, 35 minutes away. I'm going to get a beer and a hamburger. Because in our day, we had ham sandwiches and cheese. If the bread was stale, hang with them. We didn't have microwave. So I don't want to eat this. So you go to the bar. You might meet somebody, or you might see somebody. You have a beer. You get a hamburger off the grill. Here's Russ Getz. Hey, Russ, how you doing? Want a beer? Sure. Aren't you pitching tomorrow? Yeah. Aren't you behind the plate? Yeah. Oh, great. We're a good team. I'll tell you what. This is the side of the strike zone. Here's my pitches. Here's everyone. Yeah, that's outside. He goes, nah, it was a strike, quit pitching, or you know, you'll be out of here. Strike 2, strike 3. I went, wow, you called a great game today, Ross. It was terrible, but we beat him. But I mean, it's like, you know, I don't know where the strike zone's gonna go in the day, but it's gotta go somewhere because it just seems like the Yankees, the Dodgers get the calls, and the lower teams do not get the calls. The better pitchers get the calls, the rookies or the second, third-year guys do not get the calls. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, we might be getting the automatic strike zone coming in a couple of years, so we'll see.
Yeah, I know.
We'll see how that
so
shakes
too.
out. But, I think that's going to do it. Again, Dave Rozema, 84 World Series champion. And again, thank you